Welcome everybody to another big business breakthrough Google Hangout. It's Glenn Dietzel here, coming live from the international office of Awaken. I am really glad that I could actually do this Google Hangout this week. We've moved to Monday at 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 o'clock Pacific. A shout out to Ted McGrath, who I just finished working with over the last 2 days this past week. We closed a ton of deals. Certification is co-branding program. We're going to have more to say about that. Shout out to Ken MacArthur. I just did a spoke at his event in Scottsdale. To all of you that were at my keynote on Saturday, shout out to you. Those of you that are the one-day intensives with me that we did on Thursday in Scottsdale, shout out to you. To Susan Cox, one of my clients that I did a one-day intensive with. She didn't come to the Canadian Lake Home since she's on the West Coast, and actually worked out really well that I was able to meet with her in San Diego for the day. And a shout out to you, Susan. I look forward to getting back to you, and it was a pleasure to meet my clients globally. Those of you that are new to our Business Breakthrough Google Hangouts, this is Glenn Dietzel here. We've been doing business acceleration coaching and teaching our clients how to implement in speed-to-market fashion the results that they really want. You probably want to write this down. You want to jot down a few notes. If you're new to us, we're going to be a little bit shorter today, probably no more than 30 minutes. We never go over 45 minutes, but we'll probably be inside of 30 minutes just because of the vetting process that I'm involved in right now in launching Omega Mind. It's an amazing opportunity for people that are coming into the Canadian Lake Home in mini retreats or mini high-end intensives with me, helping them create their own certification co-branding program. Our phones are literally blown off the roof. If you phone our international office, you don't get anybody. It's probably because all of our lines are taken, and we've got created so much traction. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to promote my clients. As you'll see, a shout out to Joy Pecchia. I'll be interviewing Joy in a couple of weeks, and what she's been able to do on a Google Hangout. If you're new to our program, make sure you check out some of the interviews that I've done. We've got thousands of case studies, and if you want to be able to leverage a company today that's going to accelerate your business growth, you need speed to market. So no longer do I want to know where you want to be in 5 years from now. That's just too long. Even 3 years, even 2 years, even a year, even 6 months. I want to know where you want to be in the next 14 days. That's speed to market, my guests of our Google Hangout. All right, I've got a few concepts that I want to share with you around business optimization. I'm going to share with you 7 ways of creating attention for what it is that you do, and I'm going to jot out a few things here. So I've got my markers like I always do. We come ready to draw, and I also want to just share with you quickly here, like we always do here. I'm going to share my screen here with you and a sunset of the Canadian Lake Home. I want to show you why Ted McGrath and many of my clients say that our beach area, first of all, has the best sunsets in the world according to National Geographic, and secondly, why many of my clients call the Canadian Lake Home and the water that we're on, the body of water, which is Lake Huron, but from our vantage and where we are, it's called the Blue Water Area. They call it that. You can see why. And many of my clients call our area the Bahamas of the North. The Bahamas of the North. Is that pretty cool? All right, so I got that out of the way. We always do this every week. We share with you a picture of from the Canadian Lake Home, a sunset or something really cool on our lake. I've also got our coffee. Remember, on one of our earlier Google Hangouts, I showed with you how to close deals over a cup of coffee at Starbucks. I gave you a system on how to evaluate your experiences and turn those into high-end programs and services, and we're all on here for quick results, right? I've been vetting people for our Omega Mind, which is the ultimate mastermind program where I get to work with people. They come into the Canadian Lake Home 4 times in a year, 1 bonus session this October, and they get a chance to work with me directly to help them create their own certification co-branding program so they can go into the marketplace very strategically, attracting the top coaches, trainers, and clients in their industry. There's nothing like it, and you'll find nothing like what we do on our Google Hangouts. Why? Because we've been doing this for 11 years. All of our systems are 100% 100% proprietary. So I'm going to share with you today, and our focus is going to be on these Google Hangouts, again, around a business breakthrough. And we're going to be speaking over the next several weeks on business optimization. And it's really important that you take a few notes. You might want to jot down a few diagrams, especially when I talk to you about the law of average versus the law of sum, and how to message what you are doing in the marketplace today. If I sound a little bit tired, it's probably because I am. I just spent 8 days within San Diego, Scottsdale. Just literally flew back last night, and just fighting a little bit of a cold because I was also training hard while I was away. So I've got a few things here that I want to share with you, and before we move into that, I want to just share with you, for those of you that have been following us, we have our digital magazine coming out very shortly, and I thank you for the results on the titles that you gave me. This is the screenshot. Actually, we've got the updated. This is a screenshot from back when we were going to launch it in June. We decided to launch it in October, and that's our digital magazine that is coming out. A lot of traction around that, and when people come to us, they come to us because they want speed to market, and you've got to create results, massive results, very quickly, because people only want to be around where there is momentum. So you've got to create momentum for your business. All right, you following me? Let me just grab something here, and I want to hold on one second here. One of the clients in my office here wants something here, and I just need to get this right away. So let me just grab this here quickly. All right, and put that away. Close that down. And there we go. All right. So I want to welcome again all of you to our Business Breakthrough event. And we're going to talk today, first of all, where we kind of finished off with, we talked about pricing and the importance of strategically positioning your value in the area of pricing. So I want you to write this down. Pricing equals V plus SP plus ROI. Pricing equals V plus SP plus ROI. So if you want to create an accelerated business, we want to start with what is going to bring you the greatest results for your business, and that is the 7 ways. I'm going to show you how to build attention, but beginning with the end in mind, understanding how to create a value proposition in your marketplace, which is crucial. All right, so pricing equals V plus SP plus ROI. The V stands for value. You've got to have great value today. That is crucial. And knowing how to structure your value is really important. We're going to talk about that in the 7 ways of building attention for what you do. Next, in our formula then, the SP, is you need strategic positioning. Strategic positioning, which is crucial. So you need that. And then thirdly, and we're going to be talking more about how to strategically position what you do. You see, the greatest problem that I see people in today in business is that they create a business, but then they end up being held hostage to the business model from which they created. So you've got to be a lot more strategic. And then finally, what does your target market want? They want ROI. ROI is the last variable in our formula. They want return on investments. They want results. So you've got to be able to create a business that's focused on beginning with the end in mind. Most important aspect in sales is the offer. The offer. The offer drives everything. So when you're going to create an offer, you've got to understand those 3 variables in the area of pricing. All right. So I want to talk to you then today around 8 ways or 7 ways of creating attention. And we're going to talk about creating a value stream. A value stream is crucial. Knowing how to, if you hate selling, you're going to want to know how to follow what I'm talking about. So you create a value stream that automatically brings your ideal clients into a long-term business relationship with you. So you need to know how to create a value stream. So I want to talk to you about that. I've drawn a graph here before we get into the 7 concepts or principles on building attention. I want you to take a look at a graph that I've drawn here. This is the graph here. Impact on the y-axis, experiences on the x-axis. So a graph of impact versus experiences. Impact versus experiences. All right. Now, here's what I see so many people today doing because they don't know how to create a value stream. They have no idea that pricing equals value plus strategic positioning plus ROI. They have no idea how to put things together properly. They end up not understanding how to position ultimately their value. And that value, again, needs to be positioned to drive the critical area or the aspect of business that drives all business, and that's creating an offer and getting people to want to move forward with you. So here's what happens, all right? I got my red marker out here, and I see people just, not having a formula for knowing how to speak about what it is that they speak about. And so some of what they talk about is amazing, and other things because they don't know really how to present their advice in a way that closes deals. Here's what happens. Okay, on our impact versus experiences graph, I've drawn out a lot of X's all over the place, showing you that in some ways, some of what they present is some very impactful experiences or advice, and other, most of what people say doesn't bring any impact or very little impact. And here's the problem. Most people think that the more you say, the more powerful you really are, and the faster you're going to be able to close a deal. When conversely, the truth is really that the less that you say, but the more critically that you examine how you're going to say what you're going to say. So how you're going to say what you're going to say is crucial. So here's how the law of averages versus the law of summing works. Most people think that the human mind sums. So what they're really saying is, by taking all of these points here that you see, that the human mind is going to take all of these and build up above up here, and the human mind's going to sum all of these up here, and you're going to look amazing. But that's not what happens. The human mind does not sum. The human mind takes the average. So what happens here, if we take a look at this graph, and we find the average point is probably, I'm going to draw it as a triangle. And what happens is, so many people, this is what happens. This is why you don't close deals faster and quicker, because you end up you don't know what to say and how to say it. So instead of being off the charts way up here in influence and impact, you're actually down here on impact. And because the human mind takes the average, it doesn't sum. So you need to understand that. So I want to show you how to begin to strategically organize your thinking and your positioning and driving people into your offer that creates the maximum leverage for your business. All right, you following me? Are you getting this? Let me just check in here for a second. We are again here. Let's just do this here. We're now going to take you through a business breakthrough. I've already covered just a little bit here today, just kind of a summary of where we've been. I missed last week because I was on the road. And today I want to take you through your business breakthrough around ensuring that you never, ever position yourself, just like I just said. You never position yourself right here. You position yourself off the chart. So we want to be able to leverage these points here that I'm circling and others, and you need to know how to position your value that creates the greatest amount of impact, all right, in the shortest time. So greatest amount of impact, shortest amount of time produces the kinds of results that my clients get. And we've been featuring them, clients closing deals $5, $10, $15, $20,000, $100,000 plus, $1 million. One of my clients we're working on right now, $1 million deal, or a $1 million pitch for $1 million program. And we've got many clients like that. We've showed you how we pitch deals really quickly. All right, so our focus then here is to create attention. Create attention for what it is that you do so that you create a value stream that gets people to want to do business with you. So the first concept that I want you to write down right now is big picture. Okay, it's the first principle, big picture. Write that down, big picture. You've got to know, here's a fundamental truth. People want to be around with people that have a big picture, that have momentum. People want to be close to the source of momentum. That's one of our speed to market principles. It's not the narrative of your life per se, but it's what you've overcome and the journey that you're going to take your ideal client on that they really want. All right? So they want results, but they want it in the context of a journey. So in creating the big picture, you want to showcase what you've overcome and what the big picture is so that the human mind understands. Now next week we're going to break this down. I'm going to talk to you about 3 fundamental ways of messaging your ideas and your advice. The problem is most people use 2 ways of messaging their advice, and that's what's holding them hostage. It's probably what's holding you hostage to achieving the kind of results that you really want for your business. And that's, doubling, tripling the size of the deal, and getting people to move forward in your programs a lot faster and quicker. So so big picture is number 1. All right, we're going to break these down in the coming weeks, talk a lot more about this. Secondly, strategic chunking. Most people have no idea how to strategically chunk or organize their advice in a way that leverages the graph that or the chart that I just showed you. All right, and that's this right here. So they have no idea how to chunk their advice so that they can leverage these impactful experiences from their life in a value stream that closes the deal. All right, so strategic chunking is simply the way that you organize your advice, but you chunk it. You chunk it in sections in a way that gets your target market highly engaged with what you do. Because the greatest thing you could do right now is to be irrelevant. And most people are irrelevant because they're trying to do what everybody else does. Greater sameness will not get you better results. And in saying that, in order to showcase the results that you bring to the market, use the third principle here, and that's demonstrating high contrast. High contrast. You've got to have a way of creating high contrast. What do I mean by that? It means that, if I tell you, how beautiful our area is off the Canadian Lake Home beach, you can conjure that up. But if I show you and demonstrate that, not only with the blue water, but I contrast that with the white sailboats like you just saw, it gives you a picture of what makes our area so beautiful. And especially if I create a visual picture for you of what most lakes look like or most oceans look like versus what our lake looks like, our beachfront property, you'll see that you'll begin to appreciate very clearly what it is that makes us different or that makes our lakefront different. And not only that, but you want to take those concepts and you want to communicate visually and spatially to your marketplace. And that's principle number 4. Visual and spatial. All right? Visual and spatial. So you want to make sure that you communicate a visual picture and a spatial picture. So this is an example of a visual spatial picture right here. It's a simple one. It's a simple graph. I visually show you high impactful events, so I label my axis, the impact axis versus the experience axis. I color code them. This is what most people think happens. I can just say whatever I want, throw in some cool stuff, and because they don't know, most people have no idea how to create a value stream that closes deals quickly. They say they have no idea how to chunk their material, strategically organize it, utilize the laws that we just talked about around thinking visually and spatially, and they get this kind of effect right here, this kind of impact. And this kind of impact really is greater sameness. So as opposed to creating impact that's off the chart up here. So this is a simple way of creating a visual spatial relationship. A visual spatial relationship. The human mind processes visually. It's got to see something. Can't see something unless you show them a picture ideally or give them an analogy from which they can see. And then you got to present what it is that makes you different from what your competitors are currently doing. All right, and by doing that, you will ensure that you are novel. So novelty is crucial. You've got to be positioned from a novel, in a novel way. Okay, in other words, you've got to be different. Greater sameness will not get you better results. So you've got to position yourself completely different than everybody else. Is that scary? Sure it is. Because as an entrepreneur, your job is to, when everybody says to go this way, you're going to tell them to go this way. If they tell you to go that way, you're going to tell them to go that way. All right? So you want to be able to, in order to gain the confidence to be able to do that, you've got to start knowing how to organize your advice from your own perspective. And we've got templates that we've started assisting you with to begin to see just how valuable you are and start self-reflecting on your experiences. All right? Now, as you're building out your advice-based business, all right, and this is just a really cool market that we live in, you definitely want to do and model what I've done, and that's leveraging my clients. Like every one of our clients is a case study, so write that down. You've got to have case studies. Why? Because Marcus Buckingham and Kurt Kaufman, two New York Times bestselling authors, have said this. They said that in order to, and it was nice that they finally agreed, or they agreed what I've been saying for the last 11 years in business, and that is in order to survive, you got to have case studies. Sort of like when I went into education, you know, I went into education to raise the bar on my students' progress. Now, did that make some of the parents of the students that were in my class uncomfortable? You better believe it is, because most of the parents I found had a certain bar for their child, and I was able to raise the bar. And not only that, but strategically assess student achievement, and this teachers are still using my assessment instruments globally in order to eliminate parental involvement. And the cool thing is that's what I do in today's marketplace. And why did I want that? So I could get a fair assessment on students. And why is that so important in business? Or what's the principle behind that? If you assess your marketplace very strategically, you can eliminate your competitors, all right? And get your marketplace to assess their own problems from the standpoint of what you can really do for them, all right? So one of the keys of being able to do that then is you need to be able to have verified evidence. Verified evidence. So you want to be able to do probably what we do, and what I highly recommend, and that everybody that comes into your program is a case study. Every client that moves forward in our programs is a case study. And they get a chance to, for us to be able to leverage them in our markets, promote them, you know, and use them in media releases, blog posts, Google Hangouts, etc. So I highly recommend, if you want to create the kind of attention that you want, if you want your target market to live vicariously through somebody else, because it's so much easier to sell what it is that you do or educate your marketplace what you do through case studies, through your clients. And that's why certification co-branding is such a powerful concept, such a powerful program, and nobody's doing it, because it gives my clients, it gives the trainers and the coaches in my industry or in other industries the ability to be able to co-brand, certify, set the rules within their industry, the framework, and then co-brand with their coaches, trainers, and clients in order so you can finally strategic execution. And that's how my clients are able to get the kind of results that they're able to do as quickly as they're able to do. And why I started off by saying, I don't really want to know where you want to be in 5 years, 3 years, a year, even 6 months from now. It's just too slow. You've got to have a way of making speed work for you. Speed to market, speed to market. All right? Take time for our little coffee sip. And remember we said it's okay if you have tea on our Google Hangout. So here's what we started by saying today. I took you through really quickly what's just been happening with my company. I wanted to talk to you and introduce to you an area of business optimization around creating for yourself market traction, because most people have no idea how to create momentum. So in other words, you've got to start with what allows you to close the deal. The most important area of closing deals or making sales is the offer. In order to do that, you need to be able to create value. And we talked about creating a value stream that focuses on or pricing. So you want to focus on pricing, which drives the offer. In order to do that, how you educate your marketplace is crucial. And so I gave you our formula for pricing. Pricing equals value plus strategic positioning plus ROI. All right. Then I gave you 7 rules on building attention with your value stream. And before we did that, we talked about, and you want to make sure you refer to this again. This is the research on how the human mind processes data, experiences, with the respect of building impact. So I want to talk to you more about impact here and how to create the greatest impact in the shortest time. So I drew this out here for you, right here. And we had just laid the foundation of where we're going here. We talked, or I presented for you 7 ways of creating attention. And the first way was a big picture, and I'm going to show you how to message what you do. You're probably using 2 of the types of messaging, and by the way, you won't learn this anywhere else. What I'm going to share with you, and what I'm sharing with you right now, and we'll be sharing with you on our next Google Hangout. Secondly, strategic chunking. Third, we covered high contrast, making sure that your systems, your advice stands out apart from the crowd and the noise. Next, visual spatial. So doing diagramming out what it is that you do away from what your competitors fail to do. And one step further, tie your target market's negative perception of what your competitors fail to do. Next, in order to stand out, you want novelty. You've got to be different. So don't position greater sameness. Don't position this right down here if it makes you look like everybody else. All these points right here. These just lower your value. All right? On the impact versus experience graph. Next, verified evidence. All right? So you've got to be able to leverage case studies, and you've got to have a way of strategically executing. Now, I'll tell you right now, our Omega Mind is amazing because that's what everybody wants. They don't want another sit and get. I call them sit and get. You know, you sit around, you take great information, you get all kinds of free advice online. The problem is most people are getting the wrong kinds of advice that gives them true business acceleration for their business, allows them to learn faster and quicker, which then in turn will allow you to get the kind of results that you really want, and not only that, but help your clients get the results that they want. You can build a very fast company in speed to market fashion. But you know, in the area of strategic execution, our Omega Mind is a really cool program. And I'm not here to sell it to you. You know, it's a vetting process. You can contact our international office. It's just it's something that we're doing quietly, but it's for people that are truly interested in the ultimate business execution system. Want to work with me at the Canadian Lake Home 5 times within a year, and have the opportunity to help me help them position and close people into their highest end. Really high-end events. So anyways, I told you I was going to keep this short, under 30 minutes. It's now been 30. It's 2:30. I've got another appointment here. So I'm really glad I could find the time here to start our Monday away from the Thursdays and Fridays that we've been doing. And if we can be of assistance to you, don't hesitate to phone our international office, which is the same number that our clients use. And I'll write that number out here for you. 519-542-3043, and that's our international office number right here. All right, 519-542-3043. If we can be of further assistance to you in any way, shape, or form. Once again, it's Glenn Dietzel here live from our international office. I look forward to our next Google Hangout, and I want to salute you to educate to dominate, speed to market. Anything separate from that is a waste of your time. So stop reading books, stop taking in more information, and start focusing on execution. And that's what we're all about here on our Google Hangouts and our business breakthrough. Okay? Once again, Glenn Dietzel here, and I look forward to our next Google Hangout together.